I had never been a religious person. In fact, for most of my life, I barely thought about faith. I believed in logic, science, and reason. Religion, to me, had always seemed like a man-made construct, something people turn to for comfort or tradition, but not something I ever felt I needed. I viewed it with skepticism, thinking that religious people simply followed rules without questioning them. Yet, despite my so-called rational outlook, something always felt off. I had everything society told me I needed to be happy: in education, a stable job, good friends, but I couldn't shake the emptiness inside me. It was as if I was walking through life with a mask on, appearing fine on the outside, but feeling lost on the inside. I tried to ignore it, thinking it was just a phase. But deep down, I knew something was missing. The night that changed everything. One night, I found myself sitting in my apartment, staring at the ceiling in complete silence. The weight of my thoughts pressed down on me. The world outside was moving as usual: cars honking, people laughing, life going on, but I felt completely disconnected from it all. I didn't understand why I felt this way. I had no reason to feel lost, yet I did. It was a type of loneliness that no company could fix, a void that no material success could fill. For the first time in my life, I felt truly helpless. I did something I had never done before. I prayed. It wasn't a formal prayer. I didn't even know how to pray. I wasn't religious, so I had no rituals, no structure. I just spoke out loud into the silence of my room. If there is a God, if you are real, then please guide me. Show me the truth, because I don't know what I'm looking for anymore. I don't know why I did it. Maybe desperation, maybe exhaustion, maybe deep down I just wanted to feel like someone or something was listening. After I said those words, I expected nothing to happen. But strangely, I felt a sudden lightness in my chest, like a burden had been lifted. It wasn't an overwhelming experience, no visions or voice, just a quiet, indescribable sense of relief, like I had finally acknowledged something I had been suppressing for years. An unexpected encounter with the Quran. A few days later, I was scrolling mindlessly through the internet, passing time as usual. That's when I stumbled across a video of someone reciting the Quran. I had no idea why, but something made me click on it. The moment the recitation started, I froze. I didn't understand a single word, yet the sound of it felt different. It was rhythmic, powerful, and calming all at the same time. There was something about the way it was recited, the tone, the pauses. It reached me in a way no other words ever had. I had listened to countless speeches, read countless books, and watched endless documentaries about life, philosophy, and human nature. But nothing had ever felt like this. It was as if something deep inside me was responding to it, something I didn't even know was there. Curious, I looked up the translation of what I had just heard. The verses were from Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening chapter of the Quran. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Praise be to Allah, Lord of all the worlds, the most gracious, the most merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those who have received your grace, not the path of those who have brought anger upon themselves, nor of those who went astray. I read those words over and over again. It felt like they were meant for me. Just days ago, I had asked for guidance, and now I was reading words that literally said, "Guide us on the straight path." Was this a coincidence? I couldn't ignore it. I needed to know more. The more I read, the more it made sense. I started reading more about the Quran, expecting to find contradictions or illogical claims. But the more I read, the more amazed I became. The Quran wasn't just a book of rituals, it was a book of reason, guidance, and deep introspection. It addressed human nature, morality, purpose, science, and even questions I had struggled with my entire life. One verse, in particular, struck me deeply. "And we have certainly created man, and we know what his soul whispers to him, and we are closer to him than his jugular vein." Quran 50:16. That hit me hard. I had spent my whole life feeling like no one truly understood men at my family, not my friends, not even myself at times. I had hidden struggles, thoughts I never spoke out loud, questions I never voiced. But this verse was telling me that God knew everything about me, even the whispers of my own soul. That night, I couldn't stop reading. I devoured as much as I could, watching videos, listening to scholars explain Islam, comparing what I read with what I had always believed about religion. I had assumed that Islam was just another dogmatic faith filled with blind beliefs, but it wasn't. It encouraged thinking, questioning, and seeking knowledge. Every answer I found in the Quran felt like a missing puzzle piece clicking into place. I learned that Islam taught pure monotheist direct worship of one God without intermediaries. It explained human purpose in a way that resonated with me. We were created to worship, not because God needed it, but because we did. The emptiness I had felt my whole life, it suddenly made sense. It was a spiritual void I had been trying to fill with distractions, but nothing had ever truly satisfied it. As weeks passed, my search became an obsession. I read books, watched lectures, and even started visiting mosques. I met Muslims who shared their stories with me, people who, like me, had once questioned everything. Their experiences mirrored mine in so many ways. Then, one day, I finally understood. I was no longer just learning about Islam. I believed in it. There was no dramatic moment of realization, no overwhelming experience. It was just a quiet certainty in my heart. I no longer had doubts, I had clarity. So I made my decision. I took the Shahadat, declaration of faith in Islam. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasul Allah. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. The moment I said those words, a weight lifted off me. The emptiness that had haunted me for years was finally gone. A new beginning. My journey wasn't easy. Some of my family members were shocked. Some friends drifted away, but I didn't feel lost anymore. For the first time in my life, I had peace. Looking back, I realized that everything had led me here. The doubts, the questions, the emptiness, it was all part of my journey. And it all started with a simple, desperate prayer. I had asked for guidance, and God had answered.